What's going on, everybody? Today we're gonna be throwing the Wynn Dragon, MVP's new Fission Dimension, and kind of comparing it to some other molds that have similar numbers, and even some that don't have similar numbers. I've thrown this around a couple times. I've thrown it once on the channel, but yeah, let's get into it. So the Wynn Dragon has numbers of 14 and a half, 5, 0, 3, I believe. Maybe even 0, 3.5, but I think it's 0, 3. So fission plastic, I guess, has these little micro bubbles in the flight plate that make it a little bit lighter, so they could push more weight on the ends to make the gyro a little bit better. But how does it fly compared to other discs with similar numbers and others not similar numbers? So I'm at Howell Park here. I'm just going to be throwing from this little dead area here. Just kind of at those mini goals. Just kind of aiming for those. Yeah, let's see how it goes. I do know how this flies a little bit, so I'm going to be throwing this on a slight hyzer. And we also are throwing into a, I believe, slight headwind, but nothing crazy. Yeah. Yeah. They absolutely just, it bombs. Like, I feel like that's pretty darn far. Once I throw all these different discs, I will go out and use UDisc to figure out how far they went and compare it. So the next disc that I'm going to be throwing, based off numbers, I believe is the closest I have. I have these two nukes. One's in Z plastic, one's ESP. They're both 13.5, -1.3. So we're gonna see how they fly compared to that. I'm gonna try to throw these also on a slight hyzer. So as you can see, it glowed, like it pushed really far straight, but unlike the Wynn Dragon, it didn't get any flip. It just pushed dead straight. With the Wynn Dragon, it got some flip and turn, and that's from a 0.3. This is a -1.3. So we're gonna go ahead and throw the Z nuke on the, try to another slight hyzer. I might have thrown that on a little bit Annie, but I'm not sure. But same thing, just pushes straight and then has that reliable fade. So the next disc we're going to be trying out, similar numbers again, is the Latitude 64 Rive in, I believe this is Royal Plastic. Max weight. My Wynn Dragon is a 170 grams. Keep that in mind. But the Rive is, I believe, a 13.5, 0, 3.5. So it should be a little very overstable compared to the nukes, but we're about to find out. Again, slight hyzer. Oh, I threw that nose up. Don't go on the road. I know I threw that nose up, but you could see just the big dump off. And I have two more discs that I think, based off similar numbers, I have a Calvin Halo Destroyer, which we probably all know is going to be very overstable. And then we have this brand new Star Destroyer. Both of these are max weight. So I'm going to throw this Calvin first. Same thing, just try to throw it on a slight hyzer. The Calvin, I threw that low, but I did throw that on slight hyzer. No flip at all. It just holds the hyzer the whole way and then finishes very stable. Here's the brand new Star Destroyer. I've thrown it 2 or 3 times. Same thing, slight hyzer. So with the Star Destroyer, it flips up to flat and just pushes really far and has a lot of glide. So as of now, the one with the most similar flight really hasn't even felt like at all like how that Wynn Dragon flew. So I'm gonna throw some discs, which are, I think, are going to fly a lot more similar. I have 3 of them here. First off is a Leadstone Venom, which numbers wise is just the same almost. It's a 13 speed, I believe. But this one's, I bought this off the used rack. It's pretty beat in. I've only thrown it a couple times, but I think it's going to fly a little bit more understable than the rest of the molds I threw, except the Wind Dragon. So let's just slight hyzer and see how it goes. Yep, got a nice turn and push. It's coming out of it. That actually flew very, very similar to the Wind Dragon. Had that nice turn, reliable fade at the end. And now we're going to be throwing the Innova Star Shrike. I bagged this for a while, so it is kind of beat in. It's a 13.6, -2.2, also max weight. But with how I've thrown it, I believe it'll be very similar to that. So slight hyzer again, let it rip. Oh, I threw that so low, but you could see it flipped up and it just pushed. It didn't even really have that reliable fade. I know I released that very early, but that honestly showed like a good flight. I put that on probably more hyzer than the rest of them. Just flipped up to flat and then just rode so straight. Next up is the only 14 speed here, other than the Wind Dragon. It's the Innova Star Corvette, max weight. It is very domey, if you can tell by the camera. And the bottom is very flat. Very poppy. But it's a 14.6, -1.2. I think this is going to be the most similar to the Wind Dragon just because the speed is very similar, and I know it's a bomber. Oh, actually, I threw that a little bit nose up. Yes, I did, but don't hit the bleachers. Oh, I think I'm in the bleachers, but just got that nice flip up to flat. That one even rode a tiny bit. You couldn't really tell that good because I did throw it a little nose up, but that's just kind of showing the Wind Dragon off. Oh, I did just pick up this Zeus. I could throw this as also another similar, same numbers as the Destroyer. I've thrown this 2 times, max weight, so it'll just give it another kind of similarity flight. Okay, I threw that on a lot of hyzer, a lot of early, right into the gravel. Hopefully, that's not too scuffed up. But I'm gonna go pick those all up, and I'm gonna throw the Wind Dragon a couple more times for you guys. But I'm gonna go measure all of those, and I'll put them all on the screen, what they like, the distances and stuff. So let's go see. All right, so I just tallied up all the distances. They'll be on the screen somewhere. But the Wind Dragon was the farthest out of all of them. I will say though, for being a 14.5 503, does not fly anything like that. For my arm speed personally, I feel like it's a 14.5 5, maybe -3.2 would kind of be what I say it is. But yeah, quick question that y'all might want to know: is it going to be in the bag? I'm going to say yes, because I think this thing's going to be an absolute massive tailwind bomber. Just something that if I need a max rip, I can just go to it. I do trust the fade at the end, so I'm going to try a max distance rip and just kind of throw it literally as hard as I can. And yeah, let's see how it does. Too much turn. One thing I'm still trying to learn is if I am going to max distance with it, I definitely got to put more hyzer on it just because it is very flippy. I'm going to throw the Corvette one more time and try to get a little max rip on it. Come out of it. Stable. That was sound pretty far. Let's go see where they went. So I just went and picked up the Wynn Dragon and Corvette. Both of them went about 440 feet, and both of them just didn't even get the fade back. I just put too much oomph on it, and they just got the full turn, but no fade back. So I think if I throw them right, and I know with Corvette, because I've thrown the Corvette max distance 500 feet before, I think if I throw the Wynn Dragon correct, enough hyzer on it, keep the nose down, I think I can push a little bit over 500 feet on a good rip, especially in the tailwind. It is kind of touchy though, which is the hard part about these discs. But overall, the Wynn Dragon, Eagle McMahon's Tour Series disc, I love it. It is a bomber. I think for people with a little bit slower arm speed, it'll also bomb. Because I know my arm speed's faster than most people. But definitely, if you're looking for an absolute just bomber, the Wynn Dragon would be a good disc to try out. I know that it's Tour Series, so it is a little bit more expensive. Star Corvette, like $16, $17, could do the same thing for you depending on. I think this one's a little more torque resistant, but I don't know. You'll just have to try it out for yourself. So that's the Tour Series Wynn Dragon MVP Fission Dimension. Hope y'all like it.